Hello, darlings. How's everyone doing? Hello, Missy. Hello, Uncle. Yes, I hope all are well. Things are just chaos as usual, but I should be used to that by now, but definitely not. I don't know. I've already updated you guys on everything. The glass shaft, the glass shattering, the well. The well's been fixed 3 fucking times now. Once before I went on vacation and twice since I've been back. And work. Y'all know I started my part-time job. Oh my gosh. And I work like 3 to 4 days a week from 12:30 to 5:30. And when I'm off, I work my butt off at home. Tomorrow I've got schoolwork I gotta do. I wanted to try to get a lot more stuff done today so I can have time to do some schoolwork tomorrow. So I'm gonna make time for schoolwork tomorrow and studying. I've got to try to lock in my final exam models that they said they were coming, but I need to know for sure. So anyway, so tonight we are talking about Missouri. I have 8 places. The first one, and they all sound pretty good. Like I almost want to go to all of them. So let's get started, shall we? So the first one I have down is the Missouri State Penitentiary. This is in Jefferson City, and this is also known as the bloodiest 47 acres in America. Now, this opened, well, here, I'll read it over here first. By day, you take a history tour of the Missouri State Penitentiary, once the oldest continuously operating prison west of the Mississippi. The facility, located in Jefferson City, housed inmates for 168 years until it was decommissioned in 2004. By night, experience the otherworldly side of the prison during a 2-hour ghost tour, a 3-hour ghost hunt, or an overnight paranormal investigation. Did y'all hear that? Sound like something hit the window. Explore the grounds and cells and learn about former inmates who some say are still there. Now, I did a little bit of research. Now, this opened in 1836. At one time, it was considered a well-oiled, self-contained town. But countless injuries and deaths, plus a major inmate riot in 1954. Guides and guests all attest to the apparitions, weird sounds, and eerie vibes here. There are women inmates who've tried to fight for prisoner rights, executions by cyanide, inmate rapes and beatings of one another, escape attempts, mistreatment of inmates and floggings, and even one story of the boxing heavyweight champion of the world. Now, in the H Hall, a female inmate, her name was Kate Richards O'Hare. She was in prison for violating the Espionage Act in 1917. She was a badass, and she even wrote the book in prison. She is the daughter of Andrew Richards, who was the son of slave owners. She was sentenced to 5 years, but was pardoned after 2 years. She is said to still be there haunting the halls and will push and scratch people she feels is being disrespectful. In 1932, it was housing 5,300 inmates at one time. On good days, there was a bit of normalcy, but the guards were known to abuse or neglect the inmates. A guard would whip one of them for no reason. Maybe they looked at him wrong in the lunch line. In 1954, 2 inmates faked a sickness. Hi, Spirit Wolf. They faked a sickness to attract attention. Then when the guards entered the hall to respond to him, the inmates overpowered them and stole their keys. They ran and released all the other inmates in the housing unit 3. As waves of rioters stormed the deputy warden's office, the armed troopers on the roof were forced to open fire with machine guns and riot guns to force them to flee the prison yard. Hundreds of prisoners were killed, and lots of guards were injured and killed by the inmates. After the riot, a middle section bars were added to Unit 3 along with extra caging, so they couldn't get out. Even in a situation like that, they can't get out. In 1925, Charles Sonny Liston, a repeated thief, was thrown into housing unit 4. He was 22 at the time. He was in for armed robbery, and it was his worst crime ever. He was a big guy, and Alois Stevens took him under his wing and taught him everything about boxing. 2 years into his sentence, Liston was freed on parole. He then began his ascent onto the world heavyweight boxing champion in 1962. He faced notable boxers, including Muhammad Ali. He still visits his unit. You will hear the hitting of the bags that he would train on. Visitors claim to see the man wearing boxing gloves in cell number 33. Just beyond Liston's cell is a deep staircase. Now, this is the dungeon. Inmates were whipped within inches of their lives and then left down there to suffer for hours. There are 8 small concrete cells down there. They would be put 8 men or women in one cell. There was no toilet, sinks, or beds, just one room, no blankets, no toothbrush, no nothing. There was only one window in the entire dungeon, so it stayed pretty dark down there. They would only be fed once a day, and inmates would fight each other for their food. They would be left or just forgotten. They would have to use the floor as the bathroom, and they were all covered in each other's feces, blood, urine, and vomit. The stench was ungodly. Visitors claim the stench is still there. You will hear screaming, crying, banging on the doors, and fighting, even when it's empty. It says, sorry, I didn't know what that noise. It said that daily you can see inmates still wandering around, day and night. Shadows, mists, orbs, noises, cold spots. You will feel the sadness, the pain. Most people do not stay long or they end up getting sick. I would see now that I don't think I would want to go down in the dungeon because I'm not good with smells. But I would definitely go to the penitentiary and investigate that. I don't think I'd want to go downstairs, but. So the next one is called Lemp, L-E-M-P Mansion. Now this was built in the late 1860s in St. Louis. It claims to be the most haunted site in the city. Life magazine once called it one of America's 10 most haunted places. Learn about the Lemp family's chilling history during a ghost tour or hunt for paranormal activity with an infrared camera on 3 floors of darkened mansion during the Lemp experience. Now, come on. Let's go. Here we go. No. Go back to that. There we go. All right. Okay, so the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis is a historical house in Benton Park, St. Louis. It is also the site of 3 suicides by Lemp family members after the death of the son Frederick, whose William Lemp Brewing Company dominated the St. Louis beer market before a prohibition with its false stuff beer brand. It was built in 1890. In 1911, the house underwent major renovations, including conversions of some spaces into offices for the brewery, which then ceased all production. Then it was sold to International Shoe Company at auction in 1922. Now, the Lemps lived there till 1949 when Charles Lemp died by suicide in his bed. In 1950, the mansion became a boarding house. Throughout the next decade, it lost much of its ornate charm. The construction on I-55 during the 60s led to the destruction of much of the grounds and one of the carriage houses. So, the beer. I'm just trying to find out who the people are that committed suicide there. Now, Adam's son, let's see, he's in the Army. I had a daughter named Annie who became a writer. Let's see. Okay. Adam died. I'm just trying to find the 3 suicides. William Lemp Jr. took over. Mary Lillian. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to find the suicides. Okay. The Lemp Mansion and Other Eerie Tales. It's a book published in 2007. The History and Haunting of Lemp Mansion was also a book written in 2015. Suicide and Spirits, The True Story of the Rise and Fall of the Lemp Empire. I just want the details. Just details of let me type in haunted instead of It said there were 3 suicides, so I'm trying to find that. We just read that on Wikipedia. It's a brewery. Okay. The Limp Mansion was home to the Limp family. All right. Okay. Built in the 1860s, the Limp Mansion was home to the Limp family and located next to their family business, the Limp Brewery. By 1870, the brewery was the largest brewing company in St. Louis, dominating the beer trade until Prohibition closed in 1919. By that time, the family had already endured 1 heart failure death of Frederick and 1 suicide of William Limp Sr. From 1919 to 1949, 5 more deaths and suicide occurred. In 1920, just days after her marriage with her husband in the next room, Elsa Limp supposedly took her own life with a gunshot to the chest, but left behind no suicide note. The Limps called the doctor, an attorney, and the coroner without ever notifying the police. The police weren't involved until at least 2 hours after her death. In 1922, after selling off the Limp Brewery at auction, William Limp Jr. ended his own life inside the mansion office with a shot to his heart. Again, no note was left. In 1943, William Limp III died of heart failure at the age of 42. William's unnamed illegitimate child died inside the mansion somewhere around mid to late 1940s. In 1949, Charles Limp committed suicide in his mansion bedroom after shooting his dog in the basement. Knowing several other Limp suicides remain suspect, Charles left a note with only the words, "In case I am found dead, blame it on no one but me." Following his brother's death, Edwin, in 1970, the final death of Edwin Limp at age 90 ended the family line. It's believed Edwin lived as long as he did only because he sold the mansion and left the evil behind. So the Limp Brewery dynasty is one of the greatest ghost stories in documented history of the paranormal. But the real and truly scary place in the story is the brewery itself and the caves underneath. We recently took a tour of the brewery where Halloween Productions, Inc. has opened a haunted house. They acclaim this haunt to be the only real haunted house in America. The minute you arrive at the brewery, you literally feel the history. The complex is well over 100 years old and fully rich with Gothic gates, archways, buildings, and more. As we near the entrance to the haunt, we are shocked to learn there's only one way in, via a 100-year-old spiral staircase. Once you enter, you are taken down deep underground, well below the structure, into a section that hasn't been seen by the public in nearly 100 years. And, oh, come on. Well, I touched it and it went away. Hold on a minute. No, go away. There we go. Oh, shit. I was trying to show you guys the picture of this. Can you see it? This, like, down in the hallways. I mean, the underneath. This is irritating. I guess I'm just going to have to continue writing. I thought I would try to save some time and not write and kill my hand, but now it says update. Recently, the team from Ghost Adventures visited the Limp Brewery haunted house to film. We are telling you guys it's haunted in there. Prepare to scream. It just doesn't tell like what people have experienced. And that's what I've been kind of looking for. Darn. You know how I always say that, somebody has witnessed this or this is seen or you can see this or hear this or whatever. I'm not finding that at all with this one. Haunted reviews. Says visitors often report experience paranormal activity such as flickering lights, unexplained noises, and feelings of being watched. Some guests have even claimed to have captured evidence of paranormal activity on the cameras, while some find the atmosphere and stories genuinely spooky and worth the experience. Others find the haunted aspect less convincing and more focused on the history and architect. Okay. All right. Well, the next one is the Beatty House. Now, this is take a paranormal tour at the Beatty Mansion, one of St. Joseph's most haunted locations. You can also spend the night at the Grand Victorian residence. The original owner, a wealthy businessman and the first mayor of the city, died mysteriously in 1878 after a sudden bout of cholera. His wife passed away 2 years later. While renovating the mansion, contractors experienced an array of paranormal activity, including disembodied voices and shadowy figures. Okay. Come on. Okay. The Beatty Mansion, also known as the House on the Hill, is a historic St. Joseph, Missouri mansion built in 1854 by Armstrong and Eliza Beatty. Hi, Spirit Stalker. Yes, Spirit Wolf is here. Okay. It served as their residence before becoming a refuge for the homeless and a home for the aged, including an orphanage and a facility for those with mental health and addiction issues. Due to its history and the number of people who lived and died within its walls, it's known for paranormal activity. The mansion became a home for the friendless, offering shelter to city's homeless, orphans, and elderly. It later became the memorial home for the aged, serving that purpose for over a century. The mansion's history of serving different populations, including those with mental health and addiction issues, has contributed to a reputation of paranormal activity, with reported sightings of apparitions, shadowy figures, and unexplained sounds. In recent years, the Beatty Mansion has been opened for paranormal investigations and ghost tours. Hold on, I'm looking for the... That's not what I meant to find there. I wanted to look up the... Really? Where did that go? I'm trying to find... It said all the deaths that were... I'm trying to find what documented deaths were in the building. Lady Mansions. Okay, let me click on this and see if I can... Because see, this is what I do, and I write it all for the thing, but I didn't have time today, so this is why I'm... All right. No, goes back to Kansas. I don't know why it would go there. Let's see. Let me just go and do... Come on. Backspace. Backspace. THS. Okay. So it was built by Armstrong and Eliza Beatty. Now, Armstrong died in 1878 after a sudden bout of cholera. Eliza died 2 years later. In 1872, the Ladies Union Benevolent Association acquired it and called it Home for the Friendless. So those two did die in the house. The original builders, Armstrong and Eliza Beatty, died. It doesn't say what she died of 2 years later, but he died of that cholera. A paranormal team was brought in and found that Eliza seemed to be the most prominent spirit and roamed the second floor of the mansion, like she was the house matron who owned and watched over it. Also on the second floor is a bedroom that houses at least one child spirit believed to be Mabel, who has been heard whispering and laughing. The spirit of Armstrong Beatty himself occasionally makes his presence known. The first floor kitchen also is a ghost hotspot with various children and adult apparitions walking through the kitchen. The basement is reportedly the most haunted place in the building. It's said to house a male entity who has been seen walking the hallways and laughing. That spirit reportedly likes to taunt visitors as well. Podrosky said that people shouldn't be concerned about evil spirits when delving onto the paranormal. The Beatty Mansion may be haunted, but that doesn't mean it's evil. This is not a place where evil is contained. It's not a place you should fear. You should have an open mind towards the history and facts and see for yourself. So 3 confirmed deaths in the house that they've talked about. That's all that I can. It's known to be very haunted. Voices, strange photographs, odd lights, a lot of sounds. I myself have heard a lady humming. Distressed souls. Some of the spirits and misery of the displaced and unwanted people is left inside the structure today, manifesting in strange occurrences. That's the only deaths that were talked about here. Just those 3. Let's see. Now this says paranormal team spends the night at haunted Beatty Mansion. Let's see. Has been everything from an orphanage to a fraternity house, which some believe is haunted. We know the hundreds of people have died here. We have footsteps whistling. My name is called. We've piano music played. I've heard singing right in this area, actually, which they believe is Eliza. They are called the Short Bus Paranormal Team. That's funny. The Short Bus. Anyway, the Short Bus Paranormal Team. Nick Pashusta is the co-founder of the Short Bus Paranormal Team. The founder of the Short Bus Paranormal Team, his wife. No, we are talking about Missouri's most haunted. I'm doing every state. Now, this investigator's wife was sitting in a chair and she had a music box across the hall. And she invited the children to come in to play. Now, she said the music box would start playing and played and played and played and played. And I would tell them to stop playing and come over to my right side, and my right side would turn to ice, she said. So that's interesting. So let's see. The next one I have is called the Pythian. Pythian. It's Pythian. And it's the Pythian Castle or Pythian. Anyway, it's in Springfield, Missouri. It was built in 1913 by the Knights of Pythias. So we'll do a quick history on that. Let's see. So it was built in 1913 by the Knights of Pythias and later owned by the U.S. military. German and Italian prisoners of war were assigned here during World War II for medical treatment and laborers. Some prisoners were kept in the detached powerhouse and laundry room behind the castle. The laundry room is still owned by the U.S. Army. The building was listed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places on October 7th, 2009. And it is privately owned and open to the public for tours. Let's see. It's constructed of Carthage stone and limestone. Let's see, steel framework. Now, the Knights of Pythia is a fraternal organization originally constructed the castle and detached power plant as a retirement home for needy members of the order and their widows and children. It was called the Pythian Home of Missouri. Springfield was once the 7 cities competing for the construction of the Pythian home and sold 53 acres of land to the Knights for $1 in 1909. All right, so basically I have to go back and okay. And where are you from? 20 minutes? Hi, Uni. All right, it's renowned for its haunted history with stories stemming from its past as an orphanage and a military hospital. Visitors and investigators have reported numerous paranormal experiences, including apparitions, disembodied voices, and shadow figures. Don't they, every one of them say that? Every single one of them say that. Oh, Nebraska, cool. Do you investigate or do you know of any places? I'm down in Florida, so I'm always looking for places to go, but I am Private Eye Paranormal. Okay, let's see. Shadow figures. Let's see. Shadow figures are frequently seen, particularly in the boys' dormitory. Voices and whispers. People have reported hearing disembodied voices, including those of children and a woman named Lillian. Visitors have reported experiencing cold spots, phantom footsteps, being tapped on the shoulder, and feeling a sense of being watched. Ghost tours have captured EVP recordings with ghostly voices and whispers. There are claims of possession occurring in the Queen's suite. Really? Let's hear about it. We like hearing about stuff. So the boys' dorm is known for the shadow figures and paranormal activity. The movie theater, where EVP recordings have captured ghostly voices and whispers. The Queen's suite, reportedly the site of possible possessions. I don't want to go in that room. Dungeons, known for their creepy atmosphere and presence of dowsing rods. Oh my gosh. It says a dozen ghosts haunt this castle. I spent the night there on Halloween long ago. Now, I have met a couple people that went to the Queen Mary, and I've heard some experiences then. And isn't the Queen Mary the one that's in California? Is that the one that's in California? Because didn't we talk about it already? Didn't we? I think we talked about that in California, didn't we? Am I thinking of the wrong one? At the end of the tour guide and a very large woman got lifted off the platform. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, we did talk about it. And we talked about there's like a man downstairs, or is it a man with a man with a missing hand or something. I don't remember. I'd have to look it back up. But yeah, we did talk about that when I did California. Okay. This said that there's a dozen ghosts, so I'm trying to find out more information about what the ghosts, who the ghosts are. Oh, wait. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. These pop-ups are irritating me. All right. We know we have children's spirits, we have women's spirits, and military spirits. Some of these ghosts have been seen, touched, heard throughout the entire building. Oh my goodness. That would have been cool as shit. I would have had my equipment out and be like, who's that? Come talk to me. All right. Experience near the main entrance. A woman's voice said hello to her, even though she was completely alone in the building. She quickly tried to find the source of the voice, but could not find anyone there. Amazingly, just a week or so before the writing of this story, a guest experienced the exact same thing. Mysterious children have been spotted upstairs, as well as a woman in a white dress near the bathrooms. I guess there is a staff member who actually lives at this location. Now he was woken up by the sound of 2 gunshots. When she looked around the room, she found a man standing above her wearing army fatigues, just staring at her. I don't know what you people would do, but I just told the guy, oh no, not tonight. I'm too tired for this. You got to just buzz off. She thinks if you stand up to them, they will leave you alone. It says even before this place was a hospital, over 100 people died in the building. No records were kept when the military was there. American patients weren't the only ones who resided in the hospital. In the basement, a dungeon was created to house 14 injured Germans and several Italian prisoners. Yeah, I probably would have been scared too. Several cells were created and can still be visited today. A tunnel was created as a path between another building and the Pythian. It has been sealed, but apparently not empty. A shadowy figure has been seen and heard walking around in the tunnel in the dungeon area. This staff member said, despite living in a very haunted house, the ghosts are fairly nice to her. She believes it's because she decided to save the building rather than trying to demolish it. She admits she does get scared every once in a while, but has learned to accept it and just tries to coexist with them. Trying to find a picture of it here. So this is the Pythian. If I can turn this thing around without. That's the Pythian there. That was the hospital and all that we're talking about now. Okay, hot flash is happening here. Okay, what's this one? No, that's 4 quirky facts. Nope. I'm just going to go back to my regular way of doing it and writing everything down. because the way that I was doing it tonight is not working. Because, you know, I have to find this information and then write it down and then go to another one and find that information and I add them all together and then I can kind of go through it. But this, and I'm having to go and look and look and look and look, and that's just not working. All right. The next one is called the Elms Hotel and Spa. Do I seem stressed? The hot flash is really bad right now. No, I just been really busy and I didn't have time to sit down and write all these out. So I thought I would do it this way, and it's just not working like I usually have it like all ready to talk about, you know? So I'm going to go back to doing it that way. I just thought I would try a new way of doing it, and it you know. Okay, so the Elms Hotel and Spa in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, is widely considered to be haunted and offers paranormal tours. The hotel's official website even acknowledges the presence of ghosts. Guests and staff have reported various paranormal experiences throughout the hotel, including sightings of a maid in 1920s attire and a male spirit, if I can talk right, associated with a mobster's death during Prohibition eras, parties in the basement lap pool area. Okay, it says, here's a more detailed look. A male spirit is believed to be that of a mobster killed during an illegal drinking party in the basement lap pool area during Prohibition. Guests have reported hearing children playing and laughing in the area when no one else is around. Do I look that tired? Do I look that tired? You have to get it with a red hot crack. What do you mean? What does that mean? I look exhausted today. I am very tired today. I woke up at 3 a.m. to hear that my well was waterlogged again. So then I couldn't go back to sleep. So I didn't sleep well last night. And then going into full-blown menopause has affected the sleep as well. And the hot flashes are just way worse than I ever had before. And that's just miserable. And just there's a lot. I've got I went back to the police department, and then I've started a part-time job, and then I still have home chores and stuff. Red hot crack means give something a good go, like finding history through another device. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, plus I have school that I'm doing. I think once I can just get past the school thing, I can be a little bit better because it's just less that I have to do. And the PD is really it's when I want to. And then I have my part-time job, which is like 3 days, sometimes 4 days a week, 12:30 to 5:30. And then, you know, my home is a sanctuary, so it's a full-time job on its own. So, with like today, I had to mow my pigs. Who the hell is that? Who's 22-minute place? You know all about my pigs. Yes. Yes, it is for the inkless. It's for the inkless scar and stretch mark rejuvenation. And there's 3 tests I have to take. And then I have to do a scar and stretch mark camouflage. And then I have to do the microneedling. So that's the 3 different needle cartridges that I have to test with. And I have to have 3 models. I can use the same model all 3 days. It doesn't matter, but I have to have a model for each day. And I've got to make sure I get those locked in. Because how'd you know about my pigs? Anyway. Okay, the maid ghost. A female ghost said to be a maid from the 1920s is frequently seen on the 3rd floor. Other ghosts, there are also accounts of an older woman who is believed to have lost a child. Oh. Okay, cool. I know. I know, Spirit. I know. Okay, it's believed that she lost a child and said to be responsible for throwing objects or pulling people's hair. The Elms Hotel itself acknowledges the hauntings and offers haunted tours and investigations by paranormal groups. Go into this one here. All right. They offer packages. It's a gambler. Spirit guides. Okay. That don't say shit. Go back to that. Mm-hmm. All right, well. I didn't tell us shit. I couldn't find much about that one. So we're going to go on to the next one. It's called the Glore Psychiatric Museum. All right. And also Spirit Wolf, I wish I could control when these fuckers come on and, I don't know. It's like I will all of a sudden feel it come. Like you can totally I don't even know how to explain it unless you've been through menopause. God, it's like it's coming. Like you get totally clammy. Like you will get totally clammy. And here's what it feels like to me. When you're having one of those damn hot flashes, like it's really bad hot flash, and I feel like every pore on my body just opens and water just pours out. And it's like during a hot flash, I pour, like I feel like I'm standing in the shower. Um, I it just I'll be talking to people and it's happening, and all of a sudden you just see these things of sweat rolling down, and I'm having to get a paper towel or a tissue, and I hold it there, and then like in here, and where your arms and your legs bend, and you're just like, oh, it's uncomfortable and embarrassing. Like you just start seeing sweat running down, like I'm standing in the shower, like like, oh, well, you're lucky you didn't. You didn't go through that shit. Fucking suck. All right, let's see what this says. I'm not ever doing it this way again. I like the way I did. No, that's okay. When you follow me like that, yeah, I'm used to people seeing me post my pigs, because I'm a piggy rescue. And yes, it feels like you ate extra spicy salsa, and that you're just breaking out into sweat. But yeah, if you're on like Clapper and you see me post my piggies, because I am a piggy rescue, and I love my children. They're my children. Okay. So this is called the Glore Psychiatric Museum. Now, it was an unhappy former spectral mental patients are trapped in the basement area. Other spirits attached to the other floors make themselves quite known. It says can be found in a 3-story 1968 brick building, which once housed the clinic which serviced the patients who lived at the mental hospital. It also has a large basement. The other buildings located on the prison side of the fence show the various building styles of the era which were constructed. The oldest building on that property was built in 1872. The oldest building was there at the beginning as part of the State Hospital for the Insane number 2 with beds for 275 patients. It became home to 25 patients with great things in mind. The first superintendent described the goal of the hospital to do noble work of reviving hope in the human heart and dispelling the portentous clouds that penetrate the intellects of mind diseased. Okay. In 1899, the name of the hospital was changed to St. Joseph's State Hospital, which continued to grow in numbers. It was almost 3,000 mentally ill people by the 1950s, ranging from mildly depressed to patients who could be rehabilitated to the criminally insane, considered to be very dangerous indeed. Was turned into a correctional facility known now as the Western Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center, which opened in 1999. Okay, many of the patients there never had any visitors and died alone and forgotten, their bodies dumped in unmarked graves that's on the property. The The three-story brick building, which houses the museum, used to be a health clinic for the patients, perhaps a place of hope. The basement was the morgue because it was close to the cemetery. The entities who haunt this building perhaps are still hoping to be cured of their mental illness so they can go home. The artwork on display may have some entities attached to them. The male entity in sharp dress clothes has been seen walking around the third floor. An entity of an old man is seen meandering around the hallways. The basement entities seem to be trapped here. The motion detector goes nuts, but no one alive is down in the basement. A soft woman's voice asks for help, has been reported by visitors. Whimpering, crying has also been heard. Muttering coming from a shadow of a man was reported. A scary apparition of a man runs down the basement hallway toward the elevator screaming, "Why are you here? Get out." That would probably freak me out more than anything. Yeah, I'm not finding any other information on that. Excuse me. Let's see. Real. Okay, Glore is housed in a real insane asylum, or part of it. The museum is located in what used to be the surgical building of the State Lunatic Asylum number 2, which opened in 1874 and sounds like a location that should be in the new Resident Evil movie. Excuse me. Cockheads. I'd like to put the cockheads I've been dealing with in. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Apparently, from what they're saying, is a few things in the museum that the spirits are attached to, and they have these also in the museum. There's 2 or 3 different devices that they would use. They call it treatment devices, but it was basically torture. So there were several that died during their treatments, and they feel that those spirits are attached to those devices. One was called a tranquility chair, but I can't find a picture or anything of it. I'm looking at these photos and I don't really see. Anyway, they're saying that this is one of the most haunted rooms that in this museum, and I can't really hold it really close. But there's devices that were used as treatments, but it wasn't a treatment for insane asylums back then. It doesn't explain what each thing is. It just has a picture. Apparently, there's rocking chairs that will rock by themselves. I can't tell what these things are. Anyway, I'll go back to the way I usually do it after tonight. Sorry, y'all. And I've only got I've got one more. Oops. This is called Vail, Vaile Mansion. Wow, look at this. I don't know if y'all can see that picture. Look at this thing. Look at this mansion. It's just even creepy from the outside. All right, so many visitors and locals have reported paranormal experience, including sightings of apparitions and strange sounds. While the city no longer allows investigators, some believe the mansion is inhabited by the spirit of its former residents. Sophia Vale, the spirit of Sophia Vale, the mansion's former resident who died in the house, is often reported as a main presence. She is seen looking out windows and is believed to be the source of whispers and other ghostly phenomena. Other spirits, some visitors have reported seeing a shadow figure in the attic, believed to be a doctor who worked at the mansion when it was a sanitarium. A young man with wild hair has also been seen in the basement area. There are reports of cold spots, unexplained noises like footsteps and whispers, and objects moving on their own. Some visitors report feeling a chill and seeing a woman in white gliding through. The mansion history as sanitarium, where patients were treated and lobotomies were performed, to have contributed to the panel. Some accounts describe the patients as being treated inhumanely, which may have left a lingering negative energy. I clicked you open. There we go. Okay. It is a creepy house, man. It just okay. Sophia suspected suicide in the mansion's use of a sanitarium where patients were confined. So Sophia just said she died before, but now it's saying that it was a suicide. The third floor, rumored to have been a holding area for patients, and the basement used for confinement and as a morgue. So it's an abandoned property. There's no family that live at this house anymore, but there is a couple caretakers that are still being paid to go and like clean it and check on it and pick up you know, to take care of the place. They don't live there. They're just caretakers that go there. I'm going to get you a lobotomy one. Let's see. All right. Maybe this dives a little bit deeper into her. All right. It was built for. It says that this place is so haunted that ghost hunters fled from the mansion, refusing to return. Now, the Vale Mansion was built for Colonel Harvey Merrick Vale and his wife Sophia beginning in 1871, and both of them would die within the walls and their lives shattered by scandal. Colonel Vale was born in 1831. He graduated with a law degree and moved to Kansas City before finally setting an independence in 1870. An abolitionist with a passion for politics, he was among the founders of the Republican Party in Jackson County. Vale carefully built his fortune by investing in several business ventures. Part owner, blah, 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 blah. Okay, his stature in town was so great he desired a magnificent residence as an outward expression of his wealth. All right. Now, in the early 1800s, Vale was involved in a scandal in regards to his Star Mail Company. Charged with defrauding the government, he faced two trials in 1882 and 1883. Both of them ended in a not guilty verdict, but Vale had to spend more than $100,000 in trial expenses, which in 1800s, that's a lot of money. Legend has it Sophia Vale left behind to face the embarrassment of the trials, was mortified by the accusations against her husband. After the trip to the doctor where she was diagnosed with stomach cancer, she committed suicide by taking an overdose of morphine. She died in the house while Colonel Vale was still in Washington, D.C. No shit. Okay. Colonel Vale occupied the mansion until his death in 1895. Local stories claim that he became eccentric and reclusive during the last years of his life. That might explain the legend that when Sophia died, Colonel Vale could not bear to be without her, so he buried her on the estate in a glass-topped coffin so that he could look at her face. Neighborhood protests finally forced him to give his wife a more conventional burial. As far as we know, there's no truth or no false to this story, but it explains how the mansion became a source for strange stories. After his death, the court battled over his estate. It lasted 5 years. The house was sold and was turned into an inn for a time and then a private asylum and sanitarium. Do you notice that places that look like that turn into those? Okay. The main ghost there is Sophia Vale, who committed suicide in the house. Her cancer diagnosis combined with her shame over her husband's indictment convinced her that she no longer could live. The stories say that her spirit has been seen peering out the windows on the house on occasion. But what of the other hauntings? What happened to the cause? Does your house experience disembodied footsteps, lights that turn on and off, unexplained sounds, strange voices, eerie photos, and recordings that others have experienced? Be warned, the house was closed because of a psychic terror that caused everyone to flee the place. This is not a ghost hunt faint for the heart. I'd probably go. I'd probably go there. I'd probably go. I think I know a couple people that would go with me too. Because it really doesn't sound evil. Know what I mean? Oh. All right, Missouri. Get rid of that. And okay. You just sent me Montana. Let's see, we'll get rid of that. Let's see. Okay, Montana. So Montana is the next state. I'll put that over there because I'm going to do some schoolwork tomorrow. You probably wouldn't, though. We've been to some crazy places. Like we've been to some crazy places. We had a good time. And you know, I'm known for a pee. I even made a shirt that says Cece's good for an EVP. I'm going to EVP my pants. Because everybody knows Cece's good for a pee. Because if I scream, laugh, or anything, it's coming. There's no flame. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it does. The reason I did the flames and my melting ice cream is because it's so fucking hot. It is so hot here. Watermelon in my drink, and even my smiley face is melting because it's so fucking hot. I did that because it's hot here. Even my summer letters are melting. Now I got to come up with a September cup. I could tell y'all, well, no, we've already been on here long enough. I told Missy today, she sure did she laughed. All right, I'll tell you the quick story before I get off here because it's really funny. So everybody knows that we're gassy. Everybody in here is gassy. Everybody knows me and the girls are gassy. So I have a part-time job now, and I was doing the work. I was working as a cashier the other day, and thank God they have these fans up at that blow right. I mean, it literally, all I got to do is step back a little bit, and it blows on me. So, and you know, y'all know I'm on a diet. But I love pitted prunes, okay? And I eat like 3 or 4 a day. That's it. Not many, because I don't need the poops. So I was cashiering the other day and I had a long line and I had jeans on. And it wasn't a loud one. It was a long one, but not a loud one. And so it was a very long SBD. We'll just leave it at that. So people, and I'm ringing up and they're coming over and they're standing here at the end of the register where the fan is just blowing right at where they're standing. And, pat myself on the back and toot my train horn. Okay. It was a stanky one. And mine don't usually stink a lot, but man, I could smell it. And I was trying to play it off like I didn't. And it was blowing right on them. And I was laughing to myself and trying not to burst. And I was like, oh my God, that was really bad. And they're over there like, what was that? Do you smell that? And I'm like, what do you smell? I don't smell anything. What? Like, I'm Y'all would have been proud of me. I played it off so good. I was so quiet. I played it off. It was awesome. I totally hammered them. I sure did. That was fucking great. I was gassy all day the other day. I did that like two, like at least twice that I know of. And they were standing there and I just let it rip. But they were quiet ones. They were quiet. So I was good to go. I did. I did. Sure did. Dude. Nope, I sure didn't. Sure did not. I did not leave any skitties. No. See, y'all know I'm gassy, but mine don't stink much. They don't get smelly a lot. But man, it must have been the prunes, I think. It must have been because I ate like 3 or 4 of those pitted prunes before I left to go to work. So I think that might be what it was. It's fucking awesome. I was so proud of myself. I finally crop dusted somebody other than the pig. Oh, gosh. You know them people in the car. They were in the car like, that cashier had to have been farting or something because there was just something ripe in there, Mm-hmm. Oh, see, Spirit. Now that's Rita right there. And she'll tell you all day long that she is the most smelly out of all of us girls. She is the smelly one. She's bad. Every time we go on a trip, she totally clears out the fucking hotel room. All of us girls I bury my face in the pillow. Like it's just, we're all gagging in there. And she just lays there and just giggle, 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 giggle. So that's Rita in our group. She is. And you can ask anyone in our group, even Rita, say who is the worst smelling one, and they'll be like, Rita. Mm-hmm. I know. I go to work. I work Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So anyway, I will get off of here. I've taken up enough of you guys' time. I cleared out maintenance control in my first command after eating deer. Ooh, yuck. That is funny though. It's crazy how one time you can eat something and it don't bother you at all, but then the next time you eat it, it'll mess your tummy up. And then you can eat it again and it don't bother you at all. I used to eat pizza galore, and I can't eat red meat. The red sauce. I can't do red sauce anymore because it gives me really bad heartburn now, and fucking getting old. So I can't. I eat white pizza anyway. White pizza is my favorite pizza. But yeah, spaghetti, lasagna, all of that red sauce gives me heartburn now, so I can't really eat it now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I do have. Does menopause cause that though? That's a question, though. Seriously, does menopause cause that? Right? It causes hot flashes, right? And mood swings and whatever the fuck. Does it cause? Really? Oh my Lord. Well, I feel sorry for people all the time then. I just And, 6 months ago, I've been in perimenopause this whole time, and I'm full blown now. I'm in full blown. It's just happened within the last couple of months. I went full blown like that. Like it just boom. And it is something. It's something. It's not fun. It's not a fun thing to have to have to deal with. No, it's too fucking hot outside. Thank God I have a fan there, because sometimes I'm just dying and I'm dying, and I step back and I just let the fan blow on me, and I just fan my shirt, and everybody's like, I know it's so hot outside. Yep, that's what I blame it on. I don't say nothing about being Gen X. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off of here. Usually I stay on Clapper a little longer, but I'm just tired, so I'm just gonna end it, and I gotta go close up the barn still and put the babies to bed, and then I'm hoping, my well's fixed, and I'm hoping to sleep a little better tonight, since I slept like shit last night. I know, I feel bad for the cuss words. Now there's gonna something go in my eye now. Anyway, some of you I talk to daily, and well, I'm so glad to see you again, Spirit Wolf, and thanks for coming in, Spirit Stalker, and 22-minute plays. And welcome to Fireballs and F-Bombs. And I'm going to say goodnight. I will be here. What the fuck's today? I'm going to do my best to be here Sunday night because I work Saturday and Sunday. So I just, as long as I can get Montana done, I will be on Sunday. If I don't come on Sunday, I'll do it Monday night since I'm off on Monday. Okay. Love you guys.